been good. It was a good night last night. We had our second night of auction. So we've had Sophie and Bathe in the River, the Don McGlash and Holly Smith song, Bathe in the River, and the Good Shirt song, Sophie, auctioned last night, and they both went for $2,010.
Wow.
So we've raised $9,000 in the last 3 days to try and stop mining on conservation land for gold in the Coromandel.
Good on you, man. That's amazing.
Thank you.
Tell me more about this mining thing. What's going on?
So with the new government, they're very keen to try and push forward with mining. I think you saw a tweet that I sent out yesterday that just made it clear that the business model isn't one that stacks up. I've obviously traveled around the world working for some of the biggest companies in the world in both telecommunications, banking, music, hardware, software. I kind of get the P&Ls and I understand business.
Yeah.
And I've come to this conservation thing both early and late. It was drilled into me as a child, but I've traveled the world trying to become a music executive in some degree over the last 20 or so years. And so just 2 years ago, I decided that I wanted to try and do something because my parents had been deeply involved in the original anti-mining movement in Coromandel. And so I haven't actually looked at it yet, but Mum just sent through some photos of me as a 10-year-old in the anti-mining office in Coromandel. And what I really wanted to do was, before my parents died, was to try and show them that all the hard work that they'd done was actually worth something because they'd dedicated their life to this.
Yeah.
And I hadn't. You know, I'd just been having fun with musicians around the world, as you do in your late teens, early 20s, if you can kind of fall into that job like I feel like I did. So what I decided to do was I took a high court case end of last year, and I took the local district council, the Hauraki District Council, and the gold mining company, Oceana Gold, to court because I felt that they were breaking the law, I guess is the best way of describing it. They wanted to mine under conservation estate in a place called Wharakirauponga, which is very close to Whangamata and not that far from Waihi. It's on a conservation estate. It's not stewardship land. It's full conservation estate. And they want to dig a tunnel 6.9 kilometres underground.
Wow.
So that is, you think of Transmission Gully, I think is 21 kilometres. It's not underground, but it was a massive issue for New Zealand to build that. You look at the Avondale Tunnel, you know, if you come from the motorway and you're going to West Auckland, I think that's 2.1 kilometres underground.
Wow.
So you're talking something 3 times as big. It's on conservation estate. You've got a really endangered frog called the Archie's frog that only lives in that valley, has been there for 200 million years. And you've got what I think is probably the lamest deal I've ever seen. And I've seen some lame deals in my time. I've done deals all over the world with American record companies and all sorts of stuff. But for you to own something, like let's say this building, and someone came along and said, I can get $1 billion for that, for stuff that is under your building.
Yeah.
And for that, the return to you will be 21 million, which is exactly the maths we're dealing with right now. It's $1 billion of minerals exported, and the people that own those minerals, which is you and I and every New Zealander, we get $21 million. So for Shane Jones to get up there and trumpet that this is great for New Zealand businesses and this is the way forward, the truth is, raise the royalty rate, right? If you really think this, then raise the royalty rate. Rather than try and destroy more conservation land, make it a good deal for New Zealanders.
Right.
Otherwise, rename your party as New Zealand Last, because you are not putting New Zealand first in this. The thing is, you can degrade the conservation estate. You only get one chance to take that gold outright. It's not coming out again. So if you're going to do it, like, make it worthwhile for New Zealanders. Yeah. Look, I'm opposed to it, full stop, right? Yeah. But if you think this is the way in the future, then make some money for New Zealand, because that is shameful. And to get up there and trumpet it, I was amazed at the lack of thought that had gone into that announcement last week. And, you know, when the mining industry have this thing where they'll say, but it's about the jobs. But it's not actually about the jobs.
Right.
Because I was speaking to some locals in Waihi a few weeks ago, and they said, and look, Oceana Gold can come out and they can actually tell us the figures and they can tell us everything, but they haven't. They said in the first year of that Waihi mine, there were 30 locals employed and 28 of them were gone after the first year. I'd love to hear more to see how honest that is. The other problem you have is I think most New Zealanders would agree that we're running an infrastructure deficit, right? We need more roads, we're getting bigger, there's lots of things to build. These are the same engineers that would build a 6.9 kilometre tunnel, right? You're still dealing with the same engineers. I personally employ 40 to 50 engineers full-time every day of the year, right? Different engineers, software engineers, but I get this business, right? These are the same people making these tunnels and roads that would build roads and tunnels for New Zealand infrastructure. So we're taking away from ourselves the people that would make these roads. We're probably going to bring more people in from overseas. It's not really going to benefit the local people at all. So, and then it's your thing that you're selling, that gold in the ground. If you're digging it up, dig it up for a lot more money than what appears to be a 2.1% on that investment.
Wow. That's not a lot.
It's not, bro, it's nothing.
2.1%.
But that's it, right? You can read Jane Jones's speech, right? And it's there with the Ministry of MB, right? They said $1 billion worth of minerals last year, $21 million back to the Crown.
21 million.
21 million.
For $1 billion worth.
For $1 billion. Tell me, is that a good deal? Am I just being naive thinking that's a shit deal?
Well, I mean, it is a shit deal because
Thank you.
The gold is like the highest of all time.
Yeah.
And
So
you're making 2.1%.
Yeah, right. Okay, so then you're welcoming in with do more gold mining. How about you keep it at the same that it is, and you increase the royalty.
Yeah.
And then New Zealand gets more money from it, and we don't have to destroy our conservation estate. How about that?
Yeah, that sounds right to me.
Yeah.
From a business perspective.
Yeah.
But I think, let's go back.
Yeah.
And I think your petition and your view is that we should not be doing that on conservation land.
That's right.
But are they going ahead? And do you think?
They are saying very much that conservation land and stewardship land are on the table. There's one called Schedule 4, which they confirmed last week is off the table. Schedule 4 is particularly pristine conservation land that happens in a road which is called north of the Kopu Hikawai. So on the Coromandel, there's a road called the Kopu Hikawai, and that north of there, anything in Schedule 4 is out. So that's great. That's been in there since the Helen Clark government.
Yeah. And have you heard back from the High Court in terms of your petition?
Yeah. So we went to the High Court in November, and we spent 2 days in court with the mining company and the local council. We found in February that we lost, and we were very disappointed with that. We didn't think we should. The whole crux of the argument that we had was they had wanted to mine on conservation land, as I was saying before, but they didn't apply for a permit for their when you make an underground mine, like we've seen in New Zealand before, you need the ventilation shafts to come up. So they didn't want to apply to DOC for the ventilation shaft. So they found what's called a paper road. That is a council-owned road that goes back over 100 years that they thought might have been a road, but they decided not to then make a road, but it still belonged to the council. So they found this paper road and went, you know what, we'll apply to the council to put our 5 by 5 metre ventilation shafts up on that. And without any consultation of the public, they went and granted them a 40-year license for $1 a year. Now, if you are sitting on the way to unlock $1 billion of gold and silver, if they couldn't do it without your thing, once again, I ask you, would getting $1 a year for 40 years on $1 billion return be a good deal?
This is the government should never be doing any business deals.
Oh, no, but this is the council. This is the council. So you've got the government on one hand, and then you've got the council on the other hand.
That's a terrible deal.
That's a terrible deal.
Yeah, but these guys have no clue how businesses are run, and and I think the mining companies are probably like printing money here.
Look, businesses are designed to make money.
Yeah,
I think you and I like making money's not a bad thing, right?
No.
And it should be encouraged. But making money in a way that is, it's just a terrible deal. It is just a terrible deal.
Yeah.
Both from the Crown getting that low return and from the local council. It is a terrible thing. And then you throw in, so you've got a terrible deal.
Yeah.
Now, add to that the fact that the potential devastation to that local environment. Now, Coromandel, I grew up there. I went to school there till I was 13, so I had my entire growing up from 5 till 13, growing up there. Mum and Dad lived there all along, and it's been an amazing place, and I've been so lucky to have that upbringing. Now, if you then destroyed the environment through a toxic tailings dam leaching, right? Which isn't that uncommon. You go back to 2019 in Brazil and you'll see 290 people died because of toxic tailings dam. Okay, you throw in, there was a mine in Te Aroha, not that far away from where this current mine is being suggested. It's called the Tui mine. It was shut down in the 70s. The miners did a runner, and to remake everything, it cost $21 million to fix it after they'd left. Now, $21 million is the same amount of money that we get per year for exporting these minerals.
Yeah. That's just crazy. That's insane.
So you could ruin the fishing. You know, if you have a toxic tailings dam leach and you've heavy metals are then spilt into the environment, you're not fishing anymore. You've got no mussel farms. If everywhere you see is just a big toxic tailings dam, tourists really don't want to go and do, oh, wow, let me go and look at the toxic tailings dams full of heavy metal on the Coromandel. That's done for them. And tourism's a massive industry for them. And so it's like, okay, what is the real plan here? Because this is a short-term thing for potential mass devastation, and the business case does not stack up.
Mm. Yeah, I mean, Shane Jones, I don't know much about him. I know that when he was with the Labour, when he was doing the regional economic stuff,
yeah,
he left behind a massive mess.
Yeah.
Because I spent a lot of time in New Plymouth while he was there, and it was just
the Provincial Growth Fund.
The Provincial Growth Fund, and it was just throwing money around, and I don't know what got out of that. Hey, you know,
no.
I have not followed that fully. I think mining, I mean, there's, you know, it's a huge industry, and
yes.
it's a you know, yeah, you got to mine. There's lithium batteries to mine,
yep,
and there's lithium ion and for batteries and stuff.
Yep.
And I love, you know, like there's a lot of people attacking Elon Musk for, you know, using mining facilities that hire children. And he was like, no, we don't do that. I'm going to put a camera. You can live stream what's going on there. And it's I think, yes, we should not be mining in areas that we should not be doing that, because we need to protect. Yes, we should be mining wherever we can, because we want those resources. And yes, we need to make sure the business model is right.
Yeah.
You know, so there's kind of like so many layers to that.
There is. And look, for me, this is a I'm really trying to stay in my lane of exactly what my key point is here. It's gold mining, first off, right? Because there is enough gold to last humankind forever. We don't need any more gold for any of the things that we hold so dear. We're never going to run out of it. There's enough in Fort Knox alone to last humankind forever.
Yeah.
So it's purely for profit and greed, right?
Yeah.
So it's not like we're saving, suddenly it's going to cure cancer if we dig up more gold, right? It's just not. It's just not. There's going to be, New Zealand's going to get, at the moment, a 2.1% return on $1 billion per year. And maybe if we double it, it'll be 2 billion and 42 million. It's still a shit deal. It's still the same shit deal. And so we don't need gold. We don't need to do gold mining on conservation land. That's belongs to us, New Zealanders, so that your 3 kids and my 3 kids can experience the same thing that we've enjoyed over these last years. And so that's where I'm trying to stay in the lane of gold mining, conservation land, Coromandel, and it just will never stack up for me.
Yeah. So what are you going to do? Are you going to appeal the decision?
Yes, we've appealed the decision, and we will get our day in court. It'll probably be next year in Wellington at the Court of Appeal. In the meantime, I suspect the mining company they've actually said, I don't suspect, I know the mining company will also now try and go through the fast-track legislation as soon as that comes through, which to me is another massive red flag, right? Let's get a fast-track legislation so all of these really important decisions we can rush through and only let 3 people decide. One who is clearly very pro-mining. Like Shane Jones, there is no grey area. He says it, we say it, everyone agrees it. Very pro-mining.
Yeah.
You've got Simeon Brown, who it seems very keen on roads, so roads is probably his thing. But it also seems like, and there's Chris Bishop, right? So there's 2 nationals in New Zealand first. But I think they all want to go gold mining because I think they don't understand what's going on and the actual potential ramifications, and that it's a shit deal.
Yeah, it's a shit deal. Yeah, the fast track bill is, I think a lot of people are just going to exploit that,
Yes.
It's.
I don't think mining should be part of that. If you want to rush things through, if you think that roads and maybe there's some buildings, maybe
housing,
right?
Yeah.
Sure. That is something that, but there is no rush. The $21 million that we make no difference in the budget tomorrow.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly.
Make no difference.
Yeah.
And so why rush it? There's no reason. You just want to try and get this thing going, but there's no money in it for New Zealand. You want to try and do it before you might end up being the first one-term government since the 70s.
Yeah. I mean, it doesn't make any sense. Yeah, we have to mine and we need resources, and I'm sure there's lots of other things in the mining pipeline that we need and whatnot. I haven't looked into it, but gold doesn't add up.
Gold out of the Coromandel? No.
So how are you going to counter it? How do you think you can win the Court of Appeals? I mean, I'm sure you've learned a lot from why you've lost and where your arguments may have not stacked up. How do you think you're going to counter it?
Can't give too much away because we're a year away from the court case. But we think there were some mistakes made, and we will drive very hard at those areas. And we feel confident that we'll win.
And when are they going to start mining? Do you know? When are these companies coming?
Well, I took a massive tramp up into the bush there about a month ago, and I tell you, it's just beautiful. It's just stunning, the area they want to mine. And there's multiple helicopters flying around, and then taking samples out of the ground and then flying off. It's quite remarkable. So they've built like a helicopter landing pad, accommodation, all sorts of stuff up on the conservation estate. And you're just like, wow, overseas trampers would pay huge amounts of money to have a really nice hut up there, and you tramp 2 hours in and you get this beautiful thing, and you pay lots and lots of money for it, and you can keep going on it, right?
Yeah.
And that's the business model that will keep making money for the country. But no, there's no huts for anyone to sleep in up there, apart from miners in their helicopters giving a shit return to New Zealanders.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. It's like we don't want foreign investors to come and buy, land here, but we are happy to sell it for 2.1% by destroying. I've seen the landmine near Waihi, the one that exists.
The gold mine, Martha Hill.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's just the destruction of the land. It just looks awful.
Looks horrible, right?
It looks horrible. Yeah, I get it. Like, we're getting something of value.
But what value are we getting? 21 million.
Exactly.
Billion, right?
Yeah. If I generalize my comment, it's like, mining, you're trying to get some resources, but the destruction is just awful. And you're just going to leave that sit there, look like that.
Yeah.
For like, I don't know, 100, 200 years. And you've just destroyed.
Yeah, I mean, those heavy metals are in the ground forever. The water table's gone. You've already had houses, cave in Waihi. Yeah. You've got blasting going on. You even in underground mine, it's 24 hours a day blasting.
Yeah.
Just brutal on conservation land.
How does the people of Coromandel feel about this?
Look, there's mixed opinions with everything. Right? And it really depends which part of Coromandel you're in.
Right.
Look, Oceana Gold, I get on with them really well. We spent 2 days in court together. They've got a job to do. I feel like I've got a job to do.
Yeah.
And so, I think we've got respect for what each other says. And the reason I've had to do the fundraising is that they've decided to go us for costs. So it's $60,000 in costs, which is why I'm fundraising. And then...
Yeah. I mean, it's a tactic to deplete your resources.
Exactly.
So you don't go to Court of Appeals.
And then they made me put up $16,000 for the Court of Appeal as well.
Right.
So all up, it's just short of $80,000, which is why I started this whole Musicians Against Mines concept.
Nice.
So, but I flew to Dunedin and I went and spoke to the mining company and I said, hey, look, don't go me for costs. Otherwise, I'm going to have to fundraise. If I go out and fundraise, I'll go and talk to all my friends in music and we'll do something quite big. And so I don't think that would be good for you. So don't go me for it and I won't have to go and do this. I won't have to go and fundraise. Yeah. And they took a week and then they came back and said, no, we're going you for costs. And I went, okay. Yeah. And then I launched my appeal 20 minutes later.
Yeah, and I think it's cheaper for them to not do that than the media shitstorm that they have to get. You coming on the podcasts and going to media and going on Twitter and you're getting millions of impressions.
Yeah.
Versus to them not doing that.
And they're a multi-billion-dollar corporation that's owned in Canada and
it's just
Australia.
Bad tactic.
Yeah, well, I don't think it was the right thing on their behalf. And now it's just going to keep rolling and rolling. So
yeah. So how much have you raised so far?
We've done $9,000 in 3 days.
Wow. Yeah. 3 days.
Yeah. So
you'd be $80,000 like in a week.
Yeah. It'll be good. It's quite a thing to sit there and watch trade being just tick over and tick. And it's you're like, oh, because you're like 2 minutes out, and then someone's like 500 more, and you're like, oh yes, keep going. No, John 183 from Invercargill, you really want, go for it, mate. You can do it. And then, Super Groove, can't get enough. Got $3,000, which was amazing. It was the first time that the lyrics had been written out correctly. Good Shirts, Sophie got 2010, and Donoghue and Holly Smith, Bathing River, got 2000 as well. And then there's a few others.
Good on you, man. I really admire that. You're following the footsteps of your parents.
Thank you.
And you are using your resources for good. You know, it's really important. It's I mean, we go through phases where we love what we do, we get into that industry, and then we have to use our resources and influence and money and whatever we do to good causes that we believe in. You know, I admire you for that.
Thank you very much. Look, like I said to you earlier, I feel like it was something that I had to do. You know, I wanted to do it, and now I'm definitely deep into it. You know, if you're trying to take $80,000 away from me, I'm definitely keen for a bit of a fight when it comes to that.
Yeah, and it sort of becomes your new identity and this new movement, and it's
which was not really the plan, if I'm honest. I was hoping to try and make a quick impact and then get out and just relax. I know you seem to be stuck in it for a while.
Yeah, it becomes like Greta Thunberg is a great example. You know, she got into it and climate action, and then she did it really well. And now all of a sudden she's like an activist for Palestine, and you know they get sucked into it, and it's can throw you around a little bit for sure.
Yeah, which is why I'm trying to really stick in my lane.
Yeah,
stay in my lane.
Yeah,
I don't like. Otherwise, I would have to do this full time, and I've got a couple of full time jobs as it is.
Yeah.
So and so I'm doing it when I can and where I can. It's lucky that I don't like watching TV and stuff like that because I just work a lot. You know, going out to all those artists was, look, I know them all, they're my mates, but it's still a process and then following them up. Have you done the artwork? Are we going to launch on this day? When's this one arriving? All of that type of stuff. So it becomes challenging. But yeah, I'm very happy with the way it started.
That's awesome. Well, I'm sure I can have you back and we can talk about the Court of Appeals once we get closer to that.
That'd be
see
awesome.
how that goes and push that a bit more.
Yeah.
Why not?
Yeah.
New Zealand Music Month.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just wrapping up.
Yeah.
How are things in the music industry in New Zealand?
Wow. I'm going to the Music Awards on Thursday night, so that'll give me a good touch point of how things are going.
Yeah.
Look, streaming has obviously become the thing. So for major labels, it's become more difficult. I think physical sales are actually taking off as well.
That's
so
good.
I think the record companies are making more than they've ever made.
Really?
Which I'm not massive on. If I'm honest, I worked for Vodafone. I was the global head of music at Vodafone in the UK and launched the first pan-European music streaming services. So we were the first to 1 million subscribers.
Wow.
Spotify was on 250,000 at the time.
Wow.
I had dinner with Dan Ueck, the founder of Spotify and the current CEO, and in Cannes in the south of France, as you do when you're walking around with the Vodafone checkbook. And and he didn't know how big we were, and he's like, we just announced today that we've got 250,000. We're the biggest streaming service in Europe. I said, we're announcing tomorrow we've got 750,000 in Spain. We've got more than 1 million in Europe, and we're the biggest streaming service in Europe. And he was just like, and he was with one of the big investment bankers.
Yeah.
And they were both like, and I said, look, the thing was we bundled it with data. So we had a €12 all-you-can-eat music, all-you-can-eat data service in Spain, and it just absolutely flew.
Yeah.
And look, so back to the record companies. They're making lots of money. When I was involved with doing the initial label deals for those streaming services that are now pretty much the same, I would imagine, as the ones we did back then. Maybe the streaming services have got a bit more clout to get a bit more money, but I imagine it's very much the streaming service gets about 30%, right?
Yeah.
Now, the label, therefore, and the publisher was 70. You would hope that then, it used to be that the physical record company contracts, you'd have money there for manufacturing, marketing, da-da-da. All of these things don't really happen as much anymore, right? So there's not really TV advertising. There's not really, the streaming services do a lot of the marketing and a lot of the co-marketing now. And the marketing, a lot of it happens if the streaming service is going to put you on the front page of their streaming service, right? And push you out to their big audiences and take the big billboards and so on and so forth. So the label's still taking that chunk of the pie. Good business for them, not the greatest for the artist, in my opinion, under these new streaming rules.
Yeah, I mean, Spotify's kind of grown to dominate.
It has, but they're not really making money either. But that's because I've got some opinions on this, funnily enough. And look, I've worked with Spotify a lot over the years, including quite recently, and Apple to that regard. And for Spotify going into that podcasting business as they did and so aggressively, there was some massive advances paid to some podcasters. And I don't know, is that sticking in your lane, right? You're a music streaming service. And then to then advance people $100 million, or $50 million if you're the royal family, or like, it's some big money to be throwing around.
Yeah, and I think they are really starting to struggle, especially with podcasts. They paid $300 million to Joe Rogan.
That's my point. I wasn't actually going to use it as the example, but that's entirely it. And
the problem is
Harry and Meghan as well, right?
Yeah.
And then they cancelled it and still had to pay it out. And I think there's a lot of those type of ones.
The problem is that they've spent a lot of money to attract a lot of podcasters to use Spotify as the CMS platform to put their podcast on.
Yes.
But they're not paying me anything.
No.
So there's going to be a point where I'm going to go, well, what's the point of this? Because I'm...
You'll get to a level.
Yeah.
Hopefully after this interview.
Yeah,
hopefully this is the one that really pushes it out, right? You'll see the curve, you're like, wow, now I'm on Spotify, I make my own money. Yeah.
I need Morgan, I need a new deal.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
Yeah.
But it's true because it's, these platforms, they don't pay creators. Same thing with Twitter. Twitter is now becoming a video first platform.
Yeah.
But they don't pay me anything for me to put my content on there.
No.
Because I have to hit a certain number of impressions in 90 days. And then there's all these, and they pay you peanuts, right?
Right, yeah.
And so I have no choice to go, well, I'm going to build my own platform. I'm going to do my own paywall. It's cheaper for me to do that than trying to put my content out there for free.
Yeah.
And so the Spotify thing, I think it's kind of got to a point where they haven't yet figured out how to get away from a streaming monetized system into a paywall monetized system where we as creators can have a bit of control on how we set up the paywall ourselves.
Yeah.
Because we know our content.
Yeah.
And we know how we can get people in. We understand our audience and not just rely on Spotify and then have them, X is the danger with X is, you tie yourself so much with their ad revenue share business model. And then all of a sudden you said something that's hate or whatever, and they kick you out and they shadow ban you. I've been shadow banned for 2 weeks now.
I got banned once the night after the Auckland floods. There was a guy, I'm not sure if you saw this. There was a guy, we had a bad flood. Auckland had a bad flood, right?
Yeah.
It was not good. Anyway, I'd been up all night and then the sun was just rising and I was looking down our drive. It was like 5 a.m. or something. And this guy walks past my house naked. Like naked.
Okay.
Right? So, and I'm like, wow. And I've got security cameras all around the house. So I'm like, fuck, I haven't slept. Did I just see something?
Yeah.
So then I go check the cameras and sure enough, I watch him all the way along the perimeter of my house. He's naked.
Yeah.
I'm not seeing things. So I'm like, oh, well, so I was like, okay, well, everyone does things differently, he deals with, trauma in a different way, It wasn't taking the piss out of him, wasn't being rude, it was just like, there's a naked dude outside my house. Like,
yeah.
Anyway, I got banned.
You put it on Twitter?
Yeah.
But you know what's funny about that? The amount of porn
Yeah.
that's on Twitter.
Oh, yeah. In your replies.
Yeah.
In your replies.
Yeah. And they're fine.
Yeah.
And you put out someone wandering on the street naked that they shouldn't be doing, you get banned.
Yeah.
So it's the discrepancy is just over the roof in terms of what gets allowed, what doesn't get allowed, and that's because the systems are not perfect and these algorithms are a huge mess. Elon's trying to fix it, but there's a lot of issues in that system. But one thing they're really good at doing, and this is almost like a dopamine maximizer and addiction bait system for creators, is that they boost your content a lot.
Right.
So they give you a lot of impressions. The reason I keep my podcast in Spotify is because they're giving me 10,000 impressions a day.
Right. Okay.
Right. So they are pushing my content
Yeah.
in everybody else's home screen.
Yeah.
Same thing with Twitter.
Yeah.
It's one of my largest traffic system.
Yeah.
So I have to go, okay, well, if you want to be just my traffic system, I got to go build my paywall somewhere
Yes.
else, and then I'm going to suck that traffic, and then I'm going to get monetized over there.
Yeah.
Because I need to monetize. It's I don't run a charity. This
No,
is business
exactly.
for me.
Yeah.
It's a media operation.
Yeah.
And so I need to monetize. So I've been waiting for 18 months for them to unlock subscription service on X so I could monetize it on X. So you could pay me $1 a month because I'm putting nice content on my page. And they're like, no, it's there's a lot to go through and we can't activate yours just yet. So I think the same thing with Spotify. They've been building the CMS system on the back of the Joe Rogan content
Yeah.
and all of that stuff, but it hasn't really done so well to for podcasters to try and monetize. And it's, there's some other systems that work really well. They have like advertising marketplaces.
Yep.
So you put your podcast on there and then automatically embed ads in it, and then you get paid. So you
Yeah.
don't have to actually go do advertising yourself.
Yeah.
But they're dealing with like podcasters who are doing 1 million impressions plus
Right.
per episode.
Yeah.
I'm doing 200.
Yeah.
And
So
yeah. It's only been less than 12 months that I've been doing it. It will grow. And Joe Rogan's doing 300 million impressions per episode, which is incredible.
That is
And he's
amazing.
been doing it for 15 years, 2,000 plus episodes. It's incredible.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, if you'd bought Twitter,
mm,
would you have renamed it X? I see you're very good at calling it X, and I'm very poor at calling it X.
I don't like Twitter as a name.
Right.
I-
You prefer X?
I prefer X.
Okay.
Yeah. I
Good.
think
So what do you call the retweet?
repost.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you've got all your lingo back.
Yeah.
You're on brand X.
Yeah.
Good work.
And it's a conscious effort.
Yeah.
You have to
but
sit
now
down.
it won't be. Now it's just right.
Yeah.
Whereas I would have to. I haven't. I'm
Yeah.
lame. I call it Twitter. I call it a retweet.
Yeah. And that's because people don't put the effort in to consciously sit down on a Sunday morning and grab their notepad, have a coffee, and write down the behaviors that they know of an old brand and think about how they can actually construct that. It's like we all have a large language modeling system in our brain.
Yeah.
And we can just rewire it.
Yeah.
We can start saying, call it a post, call it X.
Yeah.
And so what I would do for a month, I would say X, previously Twitter,
Yeah.
Twitter now X.
Yeah.
So if I'm in a habit of saying Twitter, I'll say Twitter now X.
Yeah.
If I'm in a habit of saying
I
X,
think
I'll
you've
say
done very well. I'd
X
like to
previously
congratulate you on your amazing rebrand. Because I saw even Elon posted about it.
yeah.
I'm going to say last week, but maybe it was
But
the
that's
week
just-
before. He was like, is it X or is it Twitter, which
Yeah.
you prefer? But, it's a good engagement.
I mean, we've been around the business world. We understand what rebranding is.
Yeah.
And a big job of rebranding is you need to really consciously push everybody to embrace the new brand
Yeah.
and change the behaviors around how they interact with the new brand and how they let go of the old brand. I've worked in banks where there've been rebranding, and it's I guess it's there's a mechanism for
Oh,
rebranding.
and it's huge. If you do a rebrand, it is a massive job.
Yeah.
Like so big across the board.
And I don't think Elon's rebranded Twitter because he doesn't like that name. I think what he's trying to do is to shift the narrative around it becoming a platform for everything.
Yes.
Payment, recruitment, paying people, building ecosystems, communities.
Yeah. Totally agree.
Hire people. Like I can hire a lot of different people on the platform that can do different things for me, and I pay
really?
them
On
on the
Twitter?
platform. Not yet,
Yeah.
but they're working towards
Okay.
it becoming an everything app.
Yeah, right.
You know, and you can do a lot more than just tweet.
Yes.
And Twitter used to be like you do a tweet,
Yeah.
like 154 characters.
Yeah.
But now you can do articles, you can do long form posts,
Yeah.
you can do video, you can do short videos, you can do a bunch of different things.
Yeah. Is it your preferred
Platform?
Yeah.
It is. It's the only platform that I'm on.
Really?
Yeah,
I mean, I feel like it's the only one I'm on.
Yeah.
I mean, LinkedIn I like as well, but maybe
Yeah.
that counts differently.
Yeah, I've got a LinkedIn page, but I don't really use it every day.
Right.
I've got an Instagram page, but I've got all those apps off my phone. I don't use them, and I actually find it very healthy that
I
I'm
bet
not.
that is healthy. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's just like I'm not scrolling on YouTube Shorts, and I'm not really consuming content that way.
Yeah.
I love text content, so I can see text with videos. That's what I like on X. Grok is really a good feature on X, which is the AI Chat GPT equivalent.
Yeah.
And it's really good at bouncing back and forth ideas. Grok is now really going into all the echo chambers on X, trying to suck out what is the latest conversations and drop them into news stories, so you can really see in real time. If somebody goes and looks into mining, for example, if we get trendy enough to make mining a topic of conversations, let's say 1,000 more posts, that becomes a trend. Grok can take that trend and create stories itself.
Right.
And then people can go read those stories. So Grok's really smart and really good. They've just raised another, I think, 20 billion to build Grok. So it's Elon's company called XAI, which is a large language modeling. But going back to Spotify, and I think it's interesting, they've just got into this whole audiobook business. Doing okay? You looked into that, or?
I haven't really. It's kind of like if I want to read a book, I know I'm different, right? Because a lot of people I know love putting the headphones on and listening to people read them books. If I want to read a book, it's normally by the pool, and I want to read it to myself.
I can't do it. I can listen to a conversation like a podcast.
Yeah.
I can't listen to someone read a book to me. It doesn't make any sense.
No.
I'm dyslexic as fuck.
Same. So am I. I don't know about as fuck. I'm dyslexic. It's a funny thing, right? And and my mum, who's a school teacher, is like, "You're not," and I'm like, "I am.
Yeah.
I really am."
Yeah.
Spelling is, not my favorite thing, but I think it gives you other. It's weird, right? Everyone's wired differently, and if you've got a bit of dyslexia, doesn't mean the other things don't power off. So.
Yeah, and education systems are not that good at picking up what is it that is your superpower if you're not good at the basics.
No,
they're not good at doing that.
No,
and that's why I kind of shined at my later ages in school, like high school. University age.
I did shine at school, if I'm honest.
Yeah.
But I'm very happy for you doing so well at the end of high school.
I was. School was torture for me.
Same.
Hated it.
Same.
But
I was kind of like, why can't it be more practical? Why can't I learn something that I will use in the real world?
Yeah. What I learned from that early ages of school is that life is about doing a lot of things you don't like doing.
Like going to school.
Oh, there's someone speeding on the
They
street.
really are. Yeah. They've got a problem with their exhaust as well.
Yeah, I know. So what else is happening in the music scene that you're involved? How's your businesses doing?
Our business is going great. Look, we own 25 of the biggest musical instruments brands in the world.
Wow.
So we own Denon DJ, Denon Professional, Marantz Professional, Kai Professional, Alesis, M Audio, Rain, Newmark. We are the biggest sellers of electric drums, MIDI keyboards, and number 2 in DJ and number 1 in music production. So
Wow.
it's great. Look, I have about anywhere between 40 and 50 staff working for me in New Zealand. We bought a building. We've invested tens of millions in the last 5 years into getting a real software business going in New Zealand. It's amazing. And look, the money's come from America. The owner of the company is based in America.
Yeah.
And he loves New Zealand, and him and I have always had a great working relationship. I met him when I was working for Vodafone in the UK, and shortly after that I started in the DJ industry, and then he always wanted me to come work for him. And then so when I left my last job, he's like, come work for me. And so I did, and it's been amazing. And I run all different bits of the business depending on which bit of it he wants me to run at that particular time.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's business development, sometimes it's marketing, sometimes it's software. And I guess because I've been around the music industry since I was in my teenage years, I can kind of do a little bit of everything. I'm a bit of a generalist, I guess, and I feel like I've been lucky to be put in this position.
Yeah,
to
it's
work with
awesome.
these.
I really admire people who try and build a culture or an ecosystem or a talent pool in New Zealand for doing something that we're really good at. Serato is a great example, being world leaders.
Yeah.
There's a lot of them,
Yes.
that don't get a lot of attention.
No, I agree.
And we don't
Serato's
talk about
a
them.
remarkable company. When I came back from the UK and started working there as Chief Commercial Officer and Sales and Marketing Director in 2011, there was like 25 people there, and then we work really closely with them, and we've got a new bit of hardware coming out in a few weeks with them, so that'll be exciting.
That's awesome.
We debuted it at Super Bowl, which was just so in that Usher Little John show at Super Bowl, we debuted 3 new products in the band of Usher and Little Johns there. So it's cool to be able to work on those type of things to make sure that our audience gets to see these cool things before they're even announced. Serato have done amazingly well, and I think the article I saw on the Herald the other day, I think their turnover is above 40 mil now, and 10 million bucks in EBITDA, so significantly more than when I was there. That's for sure. So they're going great guns. I think they're probably 160 staff or something like that.
Yeah. So how did you convince your boss to kind of build a team of 40, 50 people here? What is it that you do better than that they can do back in the States? Is it software engineering? Is it product development? Is it a different culture or the love of music? Or
I'd love to pretend that I did this amazing slide deck and, da-da-da-da-da. But the honest truth, which I think is what you're about in this podcast, is that I'd been to America to work on a deal with Spotify, right? And we had gone deep, and I'd spent 2 weeks in New York going deep into music contracts and all sorts of stuff, labels, lawyers, all sorts of things.
yeah.
And then I got back, and it was like the Sunday morning. And the owner of this company is called Jack O'Donnell. And Jack called. I was just sitting in my stressless lounge from Dance Commerpla. And the phone goes, and I'm like, oh, dude, I've like just finished with you. Like, I've just had you for what more do you want? And he's like, I'm coming down Friday. I want you to get in the office, and I want to interview. I want to start a software company, and I want to interview 20 people this weekend.
Wow.
And of those 20, we probably employed 12. And then we just grew and grew and grew. And then we had a whole e-commerce team in Christchurch that I was looking. It was like, suddenly we just, on fire. It was just like, go, go, go. So now I've got web services
Wow.
down here. And there's, it's been amazing. So we're making predominantly embedded software system. So DJ hardware, running on our own system. So embedded basically means no computer. The computer is inside the hardware. So you've got a screen like an iPad, a bit smaller.
Yeah.
And we're running an embedded Linux system on that.
Wow.
And so I've got a whole lot of exceptionally smart people building that so that it runs across our Rain and our Newmark and Denon DJ.
And who do you compete with? Is it Pioneer?
Pioneer, who have just, speaking of rebrands, they've rebranded to Alpha Theta Corporation, which doesn't quite slip off the tape.
What? They done that?
Yeah.
They're not doing Pioneer anymore.
So I think, my theory on it is...
I'm definitely sticking to Pioneer on this one.
Yeah. Well, it all says ATC on it now, so...
What?
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, obviously there's a lot of hardware already out there, but it's kind of like, in my mind, that's kind of like Apple rebranding. But, it's like, why would you do it?
Why would you do it? Yeah.
So I think the answer is, in 10 years ago, Pioneer Corporation in Japan, who I spent a lot of time working with when I was at Serrata, they owned Pioneer DJ.
Yeah.
I think they lost $1 billion on plasma TVs that year.
Wow.
So they needed to cut and run. They also needed to find a lot of money to pay off the debts they'd incurred. The only really profitable division was Pioneer DJ. So they sold Pioneer DJ to an American VC called KKR, one of the biggest investment banks in the world, and for $520 million US dollars. I think what came with that was a 10-year license to the name Pioneer DJ.
Ah, right.
And then that 10 years is up, and I think they thought they could rebrand to something else, but they couldn't. So, and they, I guess, said no to a large fee to Pioneer Corporation for keeping going with the name Pioneer DJ. Thought that their hardware would ride through that and they could call themselves Alpha Theta Corporation. But I guess time will tell on how that rebrand goes.
Yeah, I mean, it's difficult. Like, the reason I asked is when you want to penetrate those environments, they are very strong cultures. Like, when I got into DJing 2008, it was all about the culture and the hardware and who
CDJs,
USBs. And when you go to clubs and play, you ask for CDJs, you ask for Pioneer. They all had that as a standard.
It is full industry standard.
It is.
Breaking into it, if you're another brand, and I've got 3 of them, promise is really, really difficult.
Yeah.
No matter how good your hardware or your software is, becomes very brands, to our earlier conversation, is so important.
Yeah, it's almost like the Red Bull tactics. How Red Bull would get a fridge in there and then they'll put all their Red Bull drinks in there, and how Red Bull became like the standard drink you have in nightclubs, and they'll make like Red Bull and
and to me, one of those great branding ones is Emirates, right? Because Fly Emirates, you're getting a statement as well, and then you're not just sponsoring Arsenal Football Club. You've got the you've got the Emirates Stadium. Your sponsorship and your brand. You're not just doing a kind of half-assed job. You are really cutting through.
Yeah, All Blacks are similar.
Yeah, and look, probably even though I've spent all this time in music and so forth, working with the All Blacks over the last few years.
What have you done with them?
So one of the deals I'm probably most proud of, but probably didn't actually get the result that when you think something's going to this smash it, I've set this up so well, and then it doesn't quite do what you think it's going to do.
The depression is deep.
Yes. So I was COO of a headphone company called Neura. And so, but the pitch was, they've recently sold to Denon, not the Denon that we own, but another Denon Consumer.
Yeah.
And so what happened was we made headphones, and we tried to, we made something that basically sent a hearing test down to your cochlea, and then it bounced back, and we had software that detected it. So every headphone was then made for your hearing. So it was personalized sound.
Wow.
So it was kind of like 2020, right? So it was doing the same job that these do for me, right?
Yeah.
And so it was EQ'd specifically for you. So amazing sound, brilliant. And then I was like, okay, this cutting through this is really difficult. It was the same kind of thing with Pioneer, right? You're going up against Apple for a start with Apple and Beats. You've got Sony in there. You got Sennheiser in there. Like the top 10 of that, headphone is huge.
Yeah.
We tried a hardware subscription model as well, $10 or £10 or
Interesting.
and we had kiosks all around the world where we were just giving away headphones, right? And so it was pretty amazing. But what we did with the All Blacks was we gave them 1% of the company in exchange for them only wearing our headphones, appearing in ads, and doing all the stuff that we wanted them to do. So I was expecting the first night we launched it, and we had Neura on all of the advertising around the ground. We had it on the actual pitch and all of the stuff. And I'm like, get our web servers stacked up. We are going to get smashed. We're going to sell so many headphones. And everyone's sitting there and everyone's watching the game. And then it really didn't move the needle. But New Zealand Rugby made quite a lot of money out of that 1% when we sold it. New Zealand Rugby did the best of everyone out of that deal, I think.
Oh, that's hilarious. Yeah, headphones are like, for me, I've always been Sennheisers for life.
Right.
Like I've got Sennheisers
Yeah.
now. I just like every time if I need headphones,
brand.
Sennheisers. German,
Yeah.
trust them. Like I wouldn't do Apple headphones. So just like no, Sennheisers, please. And for some reason, it's just the sound that is very personalized for me.
Yeah.
I like the way it's balanced. I like the way it's just different to like Dr. Beats or they're just like too bassy, too hip hoppy.
When you DJ, do you use the HD 25s for your DJing?
Yeah,
There you go.
Sennheisers all day long,
yeah.
all day long. It's just what my ears are used to, what I trust, what I love. It's tough to penetrate these markets, and you've done incredibly well. So how many DJs?
To sell it, and I'll be happy to get the final bit of money next month.
So, I used to be one of those guys. Like I'd never sell my businesses, but I've kind of grown to come to a point. Sometimes it's like, I'd be happy to sell it.
Oh, we kind of needed to, right? We'd taken quite a lot of VC funding.
Yeah. We got to exit.
Yeah, we had to. We weren't growing at the rate we needed to grow at. So.
Yeah. Did you sell it good? Was it a good deal or?
It's a good deal for the buyers, I think. It was an Australian startup. It was fine. Could it have been better? Yes.
So how many DJs around the world used your equipment?
Well, they were different. No, it was
No,
not a DJing
headphone. No, I'm not talking about the headphones. I'm going back to your other equipment.
In music.
Yeah.
Millions?
Wow. And they're manufactured in the States or?
No, designed in America, depending on which brand it is. But for the most part, we've got probably about 800 staff around the world.
Wow.
About 40 to 50 in New Zealand. And hardware design is predominantly done out of America, Rhode Island. So between Boston and New York. So it's, this time of year, it's a nice place to be. and over our summer, it's not such a nice place to be. So Jack is often found in New Zealand in summer.
Yeah.
And we have a good time. So, we sell millions of pieces of hardware a year.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's incredible. It's just amazing how we have such an awesome music scene in New Zealand.
It is.
I came here in 2009 and I got straight into it. I was at a Tim Finn Remix magazine, DJ party, High Life Entertainment.
Yeah, Adam.
It was just incredible getting into those George FM.
Yeah,
it was really awesome to and it was very different to what I was used to in Dubai.
Yeah.
A very different scene. You're getting a lot of European DJs coming. There was a massive house music movement from Chicago. I was obsessed with like Pete Tong, BBC Radio 1, Mel Cherin, who was sort of one of the fathers of disco and built the first disco club in the late 80s. That was sort of the vibe that I was into. But coming over here was a totally different scene.
Yeah.
Different music, different artists. But I've kind of like grown to love, like one of my favorite New Zealand artists is Chaos in the CBD. Just this combination of jazz and electronic, like the Canadian band Bad Bad Not Good.
Yes.
There's some drum and bass was huge that I was never exposed to. Because I spent some time in
drum and bass is big in New Zealand, but not that big anywhere else, right?
Well, when I was in Dubai, there was none of it.
Yeah.
Or at least I did not go to them.
Yeah.
Even like when I spend time, I used to go to Amsterdam Dance Festival.
Yeah.
Quite a lot. And there was not a lot of drum and bass.
No.
Skrillex was starting to kind of, become the main.
Was it mainly techno or?
Techno, Swedish House Mafia at that time was big, and the sort of like progressive house music was big. Daft Punk did their album in 2013, 2014. I mean, there was, I was quite, laid back Luke.
Yeah.
Was doing some funky stuff, new sounds.
Had a big night with him in New York.
Yeah, he's a great dude.
Yeah, lovely guy.
He's
very
a very
lovely guy,
guy.
and always keen to try new bits of hardware or new bits of technology. Very embracing technology.
And very good with it. Has he used your equipment?
Yes. He's a big Denon DJ ambassador.
Wow.
Like, massive. Absolutely.
Yeah,
massive.
and he's kind of have his own unique style of how he kind of mixes and plays with sounds.
Yeah. And we were up in the booth with him in a gig in New York, and then we spent the next 4 days at Jazzy Jeff's house. So
who is the top DJ that's kind of really embraced your equipments and done really funky creative stuff with music on stage?
I would say there's a lot of them, right?
Yeah.
So when you go back to the Serato being formed 20 years ago in Auckland, they then created a piece of hardware. It was called the Rain SL1. So that stood for Scratch Live, which was the first bit of software that Serato made. It was called Scratch Live. And basically, it allowed you to not have to carry crates of records up the stairs anymore. Suddenly your laptop became every 12-inch you've ever owned.
Yeah.
Right? And so, but to make it work, you needed to buy this Rain SL1. So everyone that used Serato at the start, so every pioneering DJ that you can think of, whether it's a Jazzy Jeff, whether it's an A-Track, whether it's, all of these guys, Tiesto used Denon and Layback. Luke used Denon. And so we've had amazing artists, Questlove, it's kind of endless, the artists. And Jazzy Jeff, for a number of years, ran this retreat at his house in August where it grew to like 100 DJs and producers of the biggest DJs and producers in the world. And I would stay there and we would spend days just talking to people and refining hardware, refining software. Oh, you'd like this, oh, you'd like that. J. Cole turned up at 2 a.m. and Questlove went and laid down drum tracks for him in the studio, and then it was gone by dawn, growing up in the 90s, I was very into hip hop, and to have a number of the guys from A Tribe Called Quest there, because they were, for me, like a quintessential 90s hip hop. And so there's this bit where it goes, the engineer is a guy called Bob Power, and there's this thing, Bob Power, make sure the da-da is right or something, and that's the thing. And anyway, he came along and spoke, and I'm just like, these just amazing producers, and peace, love, and it was endless, endless.
Oh, yeah.
So,
it's amazing. And I think if I look at, for me, the favorite album of all time is Random Access Memories. Because it's not just about the music, but the way that they conducted all
just
these
pops.
Yeah,
It just pops.
talented people from Chili Gonzalez,
Yeah.
who came and did all the keynotes
Yeah.
for the tracks, and they wanted to be in a certain order
Yeah.
of keynotes, and the guy who did the drums and the keyboards and the guitar, and it was just an incredible.
Nile
and it
Rodgers
pops-
did some of that, did he?
Nile Rodgers, yeah, he did. I think he did all the guitar. The
Yeah, so did
disco.
I just, yeah.
Nile Rodgers did
Yeah,
that,
yeah.
and obviously he was featured in the couple of the tracks.
Yes.
But he did the whole, the guitar for the entire album. Panda Beer
Yeah.
is just an incredible conducting of musical talents and elements and things that it's just a complete album.
Yeah.
You can listen to the whole thing. It's just beautiful.
You don't really get that anymore, right?
No, it's gone.
It used to be the album was the thing, and now it's single.
See, I only listen to albums.
Do you?
Yeah, I don't listen to singles. I don't listen to playlists. I love listening to albums. But there is
But are you still only listening to that one album back to back? Or do you like new music? Your discovery is for something new. You'll find a single and then go and listen to the whole album.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's normal or not, but I'm going to say that wouldn't be that normal. I imagine,
Yeah.
based on
I
seeing
mean,
the way people consume nowadays.
yeah.
But
I mean,
I'm into that.
Yeah, the thing with playlists is this: they're just constantly stimulating the best. It's stimulating you because
Yeah.
it's the best of the best in a
Yeah.
playlist. Whereas an album gives you a journey; it's an experience
Yeah.
that take you, to a different path. Like the Kanye West's album Donda.
Yeah.
I think I've played that maybe 1,000 times because it starts and it ends somewhere. You're actually watching a movie.
Yeah.
You're listening to a journey. It's a storytelling thing that's going on. And you're right. There is not a lot of electronic albums out there. I think the latest one that I really, really loved was the Swedish House Mafia album. That was just banging.
Yeah.
So it's, there was a phase where I was just missing the Swedish House Mafia sound.
Yeah. I mean, on that subject, Fred again is he uses our Kai MPC on stage. So he tours with 6 of them. So when you see him doing
Yeah.
that, he's on our MPC live too.
That's incredible that
And
he's trying to use equipment to create live music.
Oh yeah, and samples, to your point of how you make music,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, samples.
He's looking out on the internet for people that no one's ever heard of, and then he's putting them into his music and then playing the video out and the music out live while he remixes on the fly. It's really something.
It's amazing.
The funny bit about that is he was on our competitors' hardware, and then he sent an email to info@Akai. Said, "Hi, my name's Fred. I don't know. Would you be able to?" I'm like, "This is only like a year and a bit ago." We're
Yeah.
like, yeah, bro. Here you go. And
He's
then,
such a cool dude.
yeah, he's lovely.
He's like a very normal guy. Like, there's a lot of people I watched the Swedish House Mafia documentary when they broke up.
Yeah,
It's like they got so high on their rise
yeah.
that they just could not handle it anymore.
No, I spoke at the International Music Summit in Ibiza,
Yeah.
and the keynote was given by Avicii's dad after his death.
Wow. Oh, that's intense.
So it was him and Zane Lowe were the 2 headliners of the conference. And,
Yeah.
and Zane's like one of my oldest friends. I used to do him.
Yeah, he's great. What he's doing on Apple.
Yeah, he's doing
incredible.
really great things. And so, but that was tough to watch because he just so isolated when you get to that thing, and everyone's making money out of you, right? That's
Yeah, he
insane.
struggled with that. Like
Yeah.
everybody just wanted him to
keep going,
Keep going. Yeah.
He'll just feed you more drugs,
Yeah. Yeah.
and it was just heartbreaking.
His documentary got me angry because you're just like, what the fuck's going on? This is not the music industry.
No.
We look after, everybody's
No.
looked after, and he was, I guess one of those personality types where he wouldn't push back, or he was very soft, very gentle person.
Yeah,
He was a very gentle soul. And he missed out on a lot of his, early adult age growing up as doing normal things. He was just, obsessed with making music, and he's
Yeah.
super talented,
amazing.
very musical, like Michael Jackson level talent,
Yeah,
Yeah, it was super sad to see how that sort of all
Yeah.
ended. And he was in Oman when that happened.
Right.
Yeah, so right next door where I was. Yeah. It was not good.
No.
Not good. Any upcoming talent from New Zealand that
Yeah, I think there's lots, right? I think
you've
there's
been?
lots and lots. I think, look, New Zealand has this thing for amazing female singer-songwriters.
Yeah.
You know, like Lord, obviously. I mean, before Lord,
Is she
there
doing
was,
a new album?
yes,
When is
Yes.
that out?
I would say later this year. I don't actually know, but she's been recording it for quite a long time in the UK, I think. So, and then Benny obviously had a massive
Yeah.
smash, well, a couple of smashes globally. She's been part of our Musicians Against Mines campaign, which has been amazing.
That's good.
And she actually went on the first march, which was cool. So there's a photo of her on the march from 2010, holding up a sign saying no new mines, which is great. And there's another march coming up, so that's also good. And then there's a number of females coming through. I think there's one called Rat Bag that's doing really well, and I see her dad in the coffee shop in Mount Eden. We've known each other for 20 years, and so he keeps me up to date on how she's going. She's now got a UK-based manager, so it'd be great to see what happens there. And there's so much. Fat Freddy's recording a new album right now and about to go to tour on Europe.
Wow.
So that'll be great. I think there's lots of great new music coming through. Georgia Lyon's about to drop her record as well. So I think there's untold. And the beauty of music now is it's far cheaper to make than it was back when I was working at the record company.
Yeah.
Because often you were spending $50,000 to $100,000 recording something, and you had to do it in a studio, and you had to have an engineer.
Yeah.
Now you are making beats and music at your house once the kids are asleep on the computer.
Yeah. It's pretty. It's even the podcast equipment. Like if you think of Joe Rogan's equipment 15 years ago, now I've got a Roadcaster Pro 2. I've got the Show mic, 2 cameras, and a MacBook.
Yeah, and you're done.
That's it. And then, and I've got an AI system called Autopod, and it takes the audio and the video and automatically does the cuts, upload on X and Spotify, and that's
Job done.
Job done. And it's like no post-production studio. There's no 2-week delay. It's just, and it's just incredible, the
technology.
Yeah. Do you work with AI for your equipment?
Yeah.
What is the state of AI in DJ equipment? What is the stuff it can do?
I think where everyone is going to in music and AI is stems, right? Because and just I guess you understand it, but just for the people listening, stems is basically each individual instrument broken out. So previously to make a sample, excuse me, I'm gonna cough. You had to just get the clean bit of the song, right? And you could just do that. But now you have the AI breaking out the instruments so that you mute all of the guitar because you just want that bass line, right?
Wow.
Or you just want those drums. So Funky Drummer is, James Brown's song. It's probably the most sampled hip hop beat is Funky Drummer. But what you see now is you can actually just have the drums of Funky Drummer properly, and that's what's driving DJing right now is stems. And Serato did an amazing implementation.
So the
stems.
DJs are taking out layers of a track,
and then you can then change the BPM.
Yeah,
right? And you can mix this bass line with that vocal.
one, and it's almost like a different track.
It is a different track.
Wow.
Right, and now you're seeing that come to music production. So once again, in Serato have it in their Serato studio. We, with the Kai Professional, have it in our MPCs. And so now, more and more, you're seeing stems, and that's just opening up the playing field for musicians, DJs, producers, all across the world. And it's kind of limitless what you can do with that. Because now you're streaming all your songs in. You can choose from, let's say 80 million, but it's probably 100 million, maybe it's more on these streaming services.
Yeah.
And then for most of them, you can then just cut out the bass and bring the BPM down and then crossfade it into that and then upfade it there. And boom, everyone's going absolutely nuts.
Yeah, it's a big one. I think David Guetta went viral when he was using a system that could just, create audio files using a voice of any artist. I don't know if you remember that one.
Yeah.
That's sort of just AI.
Yeah. And you'll see that all the major labels are trying to come down on that for people on their platforms because they're like, there's obviously these fakes of Drake and Rihanna that happened. And that's their bread and butter, right? But you can then make it sound like those people. Just like you see the ads for John Campbell pushing a doctor. But, this doctor has really changed my back. And it was just like, yes, that's not John Campbell saying that.
Yeah, there's a lot of deep fakes out there for sure. It's, what was I going to say? Lost my thought. Yeah, I did.
AI?
Talking about AI. Yeah, AI.
Schemes.
What do you think of the Drake and Kendrick Lamar beef?
Honestly, as soon as I said that before, I was like, he's going to ask me what I think of that. I mean,
I need to know.
Dude, it's like crazy, right? It's crazy. I mean,
What?
See, back in the old days, you wouldn't be able to put your diss track out that quickly, would you? Right? You would just, suddenly you'd have to press it, and then you'd be at the pressing plate and the vinyl, and then it'd be 6 weeks, and then the disc would be less. And, I mean, like, I think there's more important things in the world.
I know, right? They can't be rapping about mining.
Yeah, exactly.
Stop mining.
Yeah, stop mining. Like, there's lots of things that I'd rather solve than, guys with hundreds of millions of dollars, probably billions dissing each other about this, that, and the other. And once again, you don't know what's true and what's not in that whole thing. But some of it's crazy shit. Yeah. Crazy. And for it to just kind of pop off like it did, and then you look on Google Maps and fucking, Drake's house in LA is being called a, the whole thing was just mad. It didn't stop me from following it, don't get me wrong. And the whole Puff Daddy thing, it blows my fucking mind as well.
Oh, man, that guy's in big trouble.
Yeah, but then some of the footage you see and you're like, wow, Justin Bieber is a 16-year-old. And I'm like, if you are that big, why would you do that? I don't understand it. And it's seemingly people have known about it for an awfully long time, and people have joked about it and did it, but no one took it seriously. But there's a case to be answered there, right?
Yeah, it's so hard to understand these guys, what environment.
What's the motivation for it?
Yeah, and it's like, like there was a video of P. Diddy hitting his partner or something. It's just so much trauma tied into that, and the upbringing and the tough environment. Not condoning it.
No.
But it's just so late. It's hard to understand.
I don't understand it.
Have you seen the AI that has converted all of the Hitler speeches?
No.
From German to English in Hitler's voice?
Is he saying the same words?
Same words. Just translated.
Wow.
It's and you know what? It's actually changed a lot of people's perceptions about Hitler, because he's not really saying that we should go kill the Jews. He's actually having very smart, intelligent conversations about his movement. I'm not supporting Hitler yet.
And I'm not sure if there's a question in there for you. You're making some statements, so I'm just sitting here.
I'm talking about AI.
Yeah, no, right.
Look,
let's
not get cancelled.
No. So look, that whole thing is, the deep fakes are deeply worrying.
Yeah,
for everyone, I think
it is. Yeah. I mean, even now you can see how AI can create real videos and images of people that is just like you can't really say what's satire and what's real.
No.
It's just like the same.
Yes.
It's insane. And that's gonna be a problem with music, and that's one thing I'm trying to stay away with, trying to get back into writing music, is maintain some form of like vintage ways of making music
Yes.
instead of just trying to get an AI to do a lot of things for me.
Yeah, I mean, look, that's why last year, and we kind of did the deal, started out of New Zealand actually. The biggest, best synthesizer company in the world is called Moog, and we purchased that last year, and we just started releasing the new products last week from it, and it's amazing.
Did you guys buy the modular and all of those?
We bought the whole company
Wow.
and the manufacturing in Asheville, North Carolina, and
Wow.
yeah, so yeah, Dr. Bob Moog's legacy is now in our hands.
Don't ruin it.
No, don't worry. There's a lot of pressure out there to not ruin it. And
Exactly.
like, we're fully focused on making the best products
Yeah.
possible
Yeah.
and doing the legacy proud.
Yeah, and you want to maintain the original sounds and how it's created
Absolutely.
and all of that stuff. And yes, digital's getting very close to what hardware can do. Like, you know, in Ableton, you can have a lot of effects and
Yes.
whatnot, but still it does not replicate the sound of what hardware can do
Yeah.
when you're mixing your tracks and when you're composing and all that stuff. And you know, a mic from the 60s is different to a mic from the 70s
And the
to
valve
the
amps
80s.
and how hot.
it's
It's just
different.
what kind of sound you are wanting.
Yeah.
And for those that are musically talented, and I, to be honest, don't count myself in the musically talented brigade, they really know what they want and what they want it to sound like and how they get that vintage sound or that new cutting edge, whatever it is. And that's what I guess we're about, is presenting a plethora of different opportunities for people to make the best music that they like.
Yeah, and like I love seeing music or thinking about music from hardware's perspective.
Yeah.
You know, how hardware can do different sounds and different capabilities. And yes, it's also fun to do it through the software. Like, what are the things you can do in software that you can't do with hardware?
Yeah.
You know, that's fun, but I always gonna go back to hardware.
Yeah.
I always love that. There's something magical about it.
Okay, so then you're making your music purely on a computer, no MIDI keyboard or anything.
That's at the moment. I mean, I'm just getting back
And when
into
you
it.
say hardware, you're talking about for the mixing console or like
Mixing console.
right? Yeah.
But also when you're recording, like if you
Yeah.
if you want to record some drum sets, you can have someone record the drum
Yes.
sets for you, and then instead of just buy a drum pack,
Yes.
you know, and
Yeah.
then lay
You know
that
the company
in.
Splice.
No.
So Splice they make packs basically. They are the biggest sellers of. They're a subscription service for music packs where
All right.
you can say I want this type of 808 or whatever it is,
Yeah.
right? And you can go in there and I was an advisor to them for 3 years when they started up, and they just raised $50 million US at a
Wow.
$500 million valuation, and Goldman Sachs took that whole round. So they are doing great business, lovely people. Just finalising a new commercial deal with them at the moment. So they're a great business and something you should look into for your
Splice.
Splice.
Yeah.
On the New Zealand tip, in terms of companies that are doing well with music and software, there's one called Melodics, which teaches people how to play music. Started as finger drumming.
Yeah.
So, like Fred again, right?
Yeah.
Fred again is the most amazing finger drummer in the world, I think.
Yeah.
Maybe some people will join the comments and say that someone else is better, and that's fine. But now it does electric drums, acoustic drums, and MIDI keyboards, and
Wow.
it's really gamified music learning. So might be good to sit down with the kids. They've made it free for every New Zealand school kid. So if you log on with your school address in New Zealand,
Yeah.
then it's free. I think otherwise it's 20 US a month or something like that. But it teaches people how to, keep your rhythm. It's gamified it by making it 5 minutes a day. So it hooks you back in because you know this already, right? The more, as long as you're committed to doing it each day, then you're going to get better.
Yeah.
So if you do a minimum of 5 minutes,
that's awesome.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get my son into making music. He loves like house music and electronic music. So I'm trying to like get him interested, and gamification is really the way to go. Otherwise, Ableton's like too much for him.
Oh yeah, that's
like, whoa.
Ableton's a lot to start with.
Yeah.
Let's have a chat about that after this
awesome.
a bit more as well.
Anything else you want to cover?
Up to you. I mean, the early music days are exciting if you want to talk about those, touring with musical artists. But I'm really happy with what we've already talked about. But if you want to relive some of those, I'm happy to talk
I'd love to do that, but can we take a toilet break?
Yeah, totally.
I need a toilet break.
Outlasted you for the toilet break.
I know. I need to go. We're back.
Thank you. That's better.
I know, right? I was
no
busted.
pressure. Like, anything more to say? Anything more to say? I'm like, up to you. I need to go to the toilet.
I need to go to the toilet.
Yeah.
No more
pouring
water.
the water
No
probably
more
didn't
water.
help.
Yeah, just get the water out of the way.
Dangerous that. Watch
Cool.
out.
Okay, the early years. Tell me some stories.
Well, yeah, look, I was, my mates from Coromandel, the guys I grew up next door to in Coromandel, one of them was in Supergroove and one of them was in a band called Jungle Fungus. One of them was the year above me and one was the year below me.
Yeah.
And the guy the year below me at school was like, can you help manage the band? Which honestly means, can you like the PA and the drums and the lights and the...
Carry all the equipment.
All the amps, the 40 kilo Mesa Boogie amps, And you're like, yeah, I'll manage the band. Oh, cool. I'll be an unpaid roadie. What an amazing thing to do. And so I did that and managed the band. The band got quite successful, Jungle Fungus. We signed to a label. And then I asked people to help me out. There's a guy, Johnny Leach, who said, I asked to come when we went to Wellington. And then at the end of it, he said, you don't need me. I need you to come and work for me as tour coordinator for the Big Day Out, and I was doing a communications degree at AUT at the time, so I was like, wow, amazing. So then I went and worked on, I think it's the 96 Big Day Out is my best, I think it's 96. It wasn't the first one, which was 95, so I can say it's 96, and it was an eye-opening experience.
Yeah.
And then because the person I worked for, this woman, Bridget Darby, she represented a guy called Michael Koppel, that's now Live Nation. They had the Big Day Out and they had this guy called Pav who ran a whole lot of festivals and had some kind of cool alternative acts like Sonic Youth and Foo Fighters and Beastie Boys. So we were just doing concerts every single week, lots of them every single week. And so I had a few years of just doing unlimited concerts. It was like Smashing Pumpkins one night, Cranberries the next night, Tony Childs the next night. It was just endless. Alanis Morissette was the first one that we toured. We did so many. It was amazing. So I did a whole lot of Big Day Out festivals and then a whole lot of straight out concerts and got to meet a whole lot of amazing music people. And then because of that work, I then got offered a job at EMI Records. And then I feel like it was all just very lucky for me, and I'm very grateful to the luck that came with it. But it started where I got promoted through the organisation. Both of my bosses were female. They both got pregnant and they both decided not to come back to work and look after the kids. And so I got promoted to promotions manager and then label manager, and I think I was the EMI label manager at 25. And
wow.
So, and EMI was an amazing label. It had great British heritage. So it had the Beatles and it had Queen and it had Cliff Richard and it had Pink Floyd. And, so that was the home of EMI. But it was terrible at music in America. So they had Capitol Records, but Capitol hadn't signed a hit, for a long time. They had the odd thing would come through, Marcy Playground, Sex and Candy, Meredith Brooks, Bitch. But the fact that I can remember these kind of one-hit wonders 20 years later shows how short we were on American repertoire. Whereas the English ones, we would have Radiohead and we would have Coldplay and we would have, so many beautiful things like that. So, I toured with Radiohead quite a number of times.
Yeah, great band.
Amazing.
Great music.
Beautiful songs. The Bends is just full of beautiful kind of acoustic-y songs that I just love. Yeah. Fake Plastic Trees is probably one of my favorites. Anyway, and so, but the first time Radiohead got in contact, I was sitting at my desk and it was 1990 something, maybe 9, maybe it's 8, I don't know. And the phone goes and I pick it up. Hello? Oh, hi, is that Morgan? Yes. Oh, hello, it's Colin from Radiohead. And I thought it was my mate round the corner, Davo, still from EMI, calling from a different number. I mean, piss off, Dave, stop being a dick. He goes, no, it's really Colin from Radiohead. And I went, sure it is. He goes, no, look, I've got this new album. And Parlophone in the UK told me to get in touch with you to see if you could get me tickets for Tony Joe White playing at the Power Station in 2 nights' time. And if you could, I'd bring in our new album. I'll play it for all the staff. And I was like, okay, mate, if you're really from Colin from Radiohead and you've got the follow-up to the Bends and you're willing to come and play it for the staff, I'll definitely get those two tickets for you. And then I will also, if it is you, get you 2 nights of accommodation if you do these 3 interviews for me. New Zealand Herald, maybe 4. New Zealand Herald, Rip It Up, Real Groove, and BFM. He said, no problem. Sure enough, Colin from Radiohead turns up at the office with OK Computer.
Whoa.
6 months before it's released worldwide.
Wow.
And he comes in, he plays it for us. It's amazing. Everyone's blown away. He goes in and he does these interviews. Well, he's burnt off a CD for each of the people, including BFM, who put 4 songs on a rotate. Now, this shows what happened before the internet, right?
Yeah.
Because internet was in its fledgling thing. So 4 months later, I get a email in the very first forms of email, CC mail, I think we called it then, and it said, we're sending you an advanced tape of the first single, Paranoid Android. It can't be played to anyone outside the office. Well, everyone in New Zealand's hearing this thing already, but no one in England knows because the internet's not a thing. So no one knows. So we've got all these songs smashing along on the radio. Everyone's already hearing them. Album debuts at #1, triple platinum. But look, I was with Radiohead when they found out they got nominated for their first Grammy. We'd been at Neil Finn's house at Piha, been swimming by Lion Rock. They just found out. Then they said, Morgan, we never do this, but we just found out we got nominated for Grammy. Do you have our CD? I'm like, I do. Like, can we do air guitar on the way back into town? I said, we can, but you're going to be far better than this than me.
Yeah.
And so we did that, and it was amazing. But so, the Radioheads, the Robbie Williams, played lots of golf with Robbie, sung Angels with Robbie. I'm a terrible singer, terrible. And he's like, come on, let's do Angels together. We're at a club. And so me and my mate Mike, we did it. And he said at the end, there, boys, don't give up the day job. I was at my first conference for EMI in this is the Rome conference, my second conference. It was in Rome. And Kylie Minogue came out and played Spinning Around to us. It was the first time it had been played outside of the studio. Yeah. And then she came and had lunch with us and swam in the pool, and it was another one of those, wow, I was there experiences. But look, that Beastie Boys happened. We went record shopping together. I've got this huge signed Beastie Boys collection of vinyl, which is one of my most treasured possessions. And and then got to meet a whole lot of artists when I was doing the Vodafone stuff, and then even the Serato stuff. Snoop Dogg was a massive fan, so he asked. I watched Soda Stage when he played at Western Springs, and then I was leaving the compound, and then he asked for us to come back and meet with him. So we met with him, and crazy. So one of those things where you just feel absolutely lucky to have been involved.
Yeah, you find yourself at the cutting edge of experiences.
Yeah.
I've read so many wonderful stories. I think I read Paul Oakenfold's biography, and just so fascinating to the joy that I got from all these amazing stories of him going to New York and playing in New York and, sleeping on the train subway stations and going to the next gig. And it's just beautiful stories. I love those kind of just being on the road and the Ibiza stories. And, he was obviously behind getting Ibiza going. Pete Tong involved. And there's just so many beautiful stories, and being involved in those must have been an awesome time.
Yeah, for me, EMI had what I was kind of getting at before was we were bad in America, good in England, and we had no one that we'd signed in New Zealand. So if I think back at the time that I had in the straight music industry, I'm going to say like working at the record company, because even though my career's been in music, I don't really feel like I'm in the music industry right now. I'm in part of the music industry, but to me, the music industry is the record labels and that type of stuff, and working directly with artists to create music. And I'm making music software now, but it's not straight music, if that makes sense. But for those 10 years that I was at EMI and Virgin Records, signing the local acts and working with them to take them from honestly recording an album in their garage, if it's good shit, to having a number one single with Sophie, to working with Blind Spot, or I think there was 27 albums that we did in those 10 years at EMI and Virgin that were local, and to make a difference to those people, and for them to still have a career this many years later, that makes me feel good about everything we've done.
Yeah, it's special. I remember as a sort of a young music producer, and I was at Amsterdam Dance Festival. It was maybe 2011, 2012. And, you get given access to a database, and you just send emails out to all these record labels, right? And I'm in New Zealand, and I'm kind of flying to go to this thing. I'm like, showcase some of my music, try and get some gigs and, whatnot. And, I'd spend all night sending thousands of emails trying to get meetings, And I get an email back. It's from Sony Music Sweden.
Wow.
Right? And they're like, oh, we love your music. We want you to do a remix for Sean Paul.
Oh, my word.
We have this track for Sean Paul and Arash. So I think Iranian singer. They kind of did a collab together. And can you, would love for you to do a remix. I'm like, is this a joke or, what? Sure enough, I fly to Amsterdam, meet with lots of people. In the morning, it's like meetings, and all the record labels are there. The artists are there. Avicii's there. Nile Rodgers is there. Everybody's hanging out in the morning, right? Amsterdam Dance, everybody's there. And then at night time, you basically go to all these gigs and you listen to all the new music, and you get a pass for the entire week, and you can go to every event you want. You don't have to buy tickets. Yeah, and sure enough, I met with them, and they were just, I'm like a nobody. Like I'm a very I've done.
Everyone starts as a nobody.
Yeah, and I've never kind of become any sort of have a huge following with as a music producer, but the way I was treated and their approach to young talent and giving opportunities and just going through the experience of signing deals, contracts, and then they're giving me the whole experience of getting the files, producing the music, getting feedback, uh, sending the music out to all these DJs. They play it. Feedback comes back in. This is where it can improve. Maybe this you do that. Just a fascinating experience as an artist.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then, surely enough, the track comes out and it gets lots of hits. I think it's awesome how the record labels nurture talent and get them on board and show them the way.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
The thing is that everyone starts from nowhere, right? Everyone's got that first demo.
Yeah.
And that nervousness of like,
The
oh my
demos,
God, this
man.
guy knows so much. And that guy doesn't really, you are, no matter how good an A&R guy you are, right, you're always going to make mistakes.
Yeah.
Universal turned down Adele. It's probably a bad move in the hindsight, right?
Yeah.
So, and U2 got turned down and da-da-da-da. But it's the songs you write and how they resonate with people. And also, if people are giving your demos the actual time of day to listen to them, because listening to demos takes a lot of time as well.
A lot of time.
Back in the day, you used to get demo tapes in the post.
Oh, yeah.
Right? And you didn't want to miss anything.
Yeah.
But how much time were you going to listen to it? Twice, 3 times? When should you actually start remembering the chorus?
Yeah, I remember the days of just going through the airport customs with like CDs burned with the demos, and it's like, what's all of this? You smuggling or you selling CDs? No, it's a demo. It's a DJ, music producer. I remember those days. It's just crazy how that used to be the case. It's I'd love to kind of produce some stuff and then kind of get into the scene and get myself booked for a summer and just go play all the music and remix them with the existing tracks and just go enjoy and DJ again.
Yeah,
I miss it. When I was in Amsterdam Dance Festival, I got signed by a promoter in South Korea, and they flew me from here to go play there in Club Octagon in 2013, and I played in a club of 5,000 people. It was awesome. It was a great time, and I wished I kind of carried on with it, but obviously, I had to go run businesses and have kids and do all sorts of other things. And now I feel like I want to get back into it, but like really enjoy it.
Yes.
Not chase anything.
It's an adult.
Yeah. Not
one that's slightly grown up, like rather than a...
I don't need any feedback.
No.
I don't need a following. I just want to enjoy it and just go DJ. I miss the days where I used to DJ for 8 hours straight.
Wow.
Just fun,
Yeah.
Just the whole night. We'd go to Amsterdam garage parties. We get in at 10 p.m., leave at 6 a.m. Just fun. And the DJs would just play all night and back-to-back sets and marathons and just... I really missed those times.
Yeah. I feel like I'm getting too old for those times, so I think you should embrace that while you're at your age. Like
before it's too late.
Staying up all night is not something I've done for a little while now. I mean, it was a few New Years ago, I guess, that I saw the sunrise from not going to sleep. Often I wake up early and the sun still hasn't risen, but that's probably because a lot of my work comes out of America. So I try and Europe and America is what drives my business. So I'm up early to deal with America and then start a little bit late to deal with UK and Europe.
Changing subjects. What do you feel is the state of New Zealand and the state of the world? Obviously, you don't live in a bunker. There's a lot of stuff going on in the world.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts? State of the world, state of New Zealand.
It's not as good as it used to be. I think I wish there wasn't. I wish there weren't wars, right? I wish people weren't going around killing each other. I feel like everyone has the right to life. You're brought into this world and you get your freedoms of expression and everyone is free to say those things, what they feel.
Yeah.
I feel taking someone else's life is like a massive thing, and I think we've got wars going on all over the world with lots of countries involved, and I just wish it wasn't. I know there's problems all over the world and da-da-da-da, but I would just wish that wasn't happening. And I wish that I think New Zealand is an amazing country, and I love it so much, but I think there's some bad things happening here as well.
Yeah.
And as, look, I grew up with very little, and I've, like I said before, been lucky to have got what I have got now, and I don't go around wishing. I'm kind of happy, and if I never do another thing again, then sweet as, I'll go and relax in the Coromandel and look at the sun rise and set, and just be chilled. And I just want everyone to have that opportunity to not have much and then grow their own business and do well. And I think we're really moving to a place of the haves and have-nots, and I think that sucks, to be fair. And I want every kid to, grow up in a home where they can have breakfast, lunch, and dinner and get an education. I think we pay tax for health and education, and I think the health and education isn't looking that great right now.
No.
And I want everyone to be as equal as possible, and I think that we are rewarded. I look, straight up, I don't think landlords need tax breaks. Like, I just think it's nonsense. I just think it's absolute nonsense. And I don't think I need a tax break. And I'll, I already donate money to a whole lot of causes, and I'll continue to do that. But I've been doing that for 20 plus years, I think. And it's not like I'm super rich or anything. I just my moral compass is very much focused on giving everyone the opportunity. We might not have had Steve Jobs, we might not have had Apple. There's a whole lot of things we might not have had. John Key grew up in a social house. Have I got that right?
Yeah, I think so.
I think he did in Christ. Right. So, like, everyone deserves an opportunity to go and do their amazing thing, whatever that thing is, and you don't actually know it until you've matured, until you've got through school. You and I spoke about, primary, secondary education and just actually getting through it. Without getting, I think P is a massive problem in our country. And I think that's what leads to a whole lot of stupidity that happens. I think that drug is just the worst fucking thing. And so I think if you're getting tough on crime, sorting out the P epidemic that's happening in every small town in New Zealand, it's happening in Coromandel, it's happening in New Plymouth, it's happening everywhere. And it causes anger, and there's no sleep. You go la on it, And look, all around the world, there's different problems. You go to America, and it's an opioid epidemic, right?
Yeah, it's big.
So there's lots of these things that you could change, and I just would hope that in time New Zealand is back on the right track. And I just want everyone to have an opportunity.
Yeah, and I think,
and then they've got the chance. They're at the start line.
Yeah,
and then hopefully that's my feeling on that.
Yeah, I mean, I think in the last 4 years, what's happened is so many people have been restricted from free movement and
after COVID,
and the way
during COVID,
COVID, and how all of that was handled. I've certainly felt the impacts of that as a young entrepreneur trying to build something. There's certainly a lot of people have gone backwards in terms of their standards.
Yes, I think their wings were cut, right?
Yep.
Like, for me, I was running the headphone business. I was CEO of the headphone business. I was doing Monday morning, I would fly out to Melbourne. Thursday night, I would fly home.
Mm.
And we were 6 weeks into that.
Yeah.
Just started a new job. And then I had lockdown. I went back once after that. I closed down the office on the Robbie Williams was playing at the Grand Prix. It was the week of my birthday. It was March. My birthday's on like the Wednesday night.
Yeah.
I went and had dinner by myself at Noble at the casino in Melbourne, right? And then because I didn't really want to be close to anyone, and then on the Thursday, I shut the office.
Yeah.
And said, no, we're just going to work from home. A lot of the staff went and called the founders and said, he's gone crazy. It's like he's shutting the office unnecessarily. Well, turned out not. Robbie Williams still said he was going to play the gig at the F1.
Yeah, which got cancelled.
Which got cancelled, but not until the Saturday, I think, maybe.
Yeah,
I just called and got, as soon as that was cancelled and I didn't have to stay because I was going to go and watch Soda Stage, I'm like, I'm gone. And I just got the next flight out. And it was the day before they closed the borders. Otherwise, I'd have had to do a 2-week. I did anyway, just because I was like, well, Melbourne had been rampant in Melbourne. Otherwise, I could have been stuck overseas for a while.
Yeah. Yeah, it was quite rampant in the beginning for sure.
I think we're at the highest levels in 2 years this week. I think we're back to 2022 levels.
Really?
Look, I've got.
Are there any deaths?
I don't know. I haven't.
So you
would imagine there would be. It's just not. We're just not hearing about it now. I think we were all hit over the head with it so hard at the time with daily stand-ups and so forth. But
daily stand-ups.
But there were.
It was. Oh,
it was, and you were like, whoa. And then that time where, we didn't go anywhere, but we felt like we were walking on clouds. We went through a whole roller coaster during that time.
It was too much for me.
Of course, and it was too much for lots of people.
Yeah,
lots and lots of people. I was in the middle of a renovation, so it was quite painful as well. And then I'm running a business in Australia.
And like young kids and
yeah,
it was because I just could not make sense of the entire just the overboard. Oh, I can hear a police car. I mean, I think I was like, okay, buy into this in the early months, but then it just went on and on and on and on, and then it became very clear to me that most of the people can just carry on. Yeah, it's a problem, and you can't ignore it. You got to deal with it, but you've had 16 months of no outbreak. I think there was a 16-month break between the first lockdown and then the Delta outbreak. Yeah. March to July, I think it was. Yeah. And there was nothing really done between that period to avoid another lockdown. And there was enough time that you could have, gone, okay, we understand the virus better now. We can target the people who really need to be targeted. Immune compromised, older people, that stuff. You're if you're 30 and you've got a young business and it's all about office space and you need people in there, get on with it. Run your businesses and don't stop. And
and look, we were running our business at that time, and it was definitely hugely challenging. Hugely, like in running it globally was. There's so much going on.
Yeah, but you just got to keep going.
Yes.
Whatever,
you do.
Tomorrow there's a financial crisis.
Yeah. I tell you that you will find this interesting. The biggest growth in musical instruments sales ever was during COVID, globally.
Wow.
Massive.
So everybody's just at home.
Okay, so no one can holiday internationally or locally.
Yeah.
Right? So for those Americans that were going to Vegas to see Diplo and buying, a bottle of vodka at the table. That classic Vegas scene that you hear at Haki-san, right? Or you're going to Ibiza or you're going nowhere, right? And everyone suddenly thinks they're a DJ or a music producer. And guess what? They want to be just like Paul Oakenfold or just like Diplo or What does Diplo use? Oh, Diplo uses this. Okay, I'll get that. Well, we couldn't keep things in stock. We were done. right? We're like, it was just flying out. And then the biggest chip manufacturer for musical instruments
Yeah.
in Japan, that burnt down.
Wow.
And so then there was a massive chip shortage. And you saw that in cars as well. Suddenly wireless charging wasn't in cars. And then you had supply chain issues again with the boat being stuck in the canal, right? And suddenly it's like everything was then backed up. Then we couldn't sell anything because we had no stock.
Yeah.
So we went from this huge year.
Yeah.
And by the time we then had made more stock, suddenly it all died down. And suddenly we had way too much stock. So
everyone's DJ hopes just disappeared. Get back to work.
Yeah, get back to
Go
work.
back to the Vegas party.
Yeah.
Get off that equipment.
Yeah.
That's
So
awesome.
it was look, there were ups and downs for businesses, but that year was a record year for us.
Yeah, that's awesome. No, you've done really well. Thank you so much for coming, man.
Pleasure. Thank you very much for having me, and look forward to the next time we catch up. And you can tell me how your music production
is going
and DJ is going, and if you book that tour and all that, because I'll come see you.
Yeah, thank you. And
as long as it's before 9 p.m, right?
Yeah, I'm getting old myself. But no, thank you for the work you're doing with the mining and and Coromandel and sort of following the footstep of your parents. And it's incredible that we until we build Mars into a new Earth, we have to look after this one. I get it, and I know there's a lot of woke movements in the environmental space. There's a lot of fight back on the climate, and I get very annoyed by it as well because it's just too much, and they try to encroach into the business, and we should not be making money because it's not a good thing.
I like making money.
Nothing wrong with that.
No.
If you can organize resources efficiently that create 10 times more value, why not? Let's do that.
Why not recycle the hardware that we already have?
Yeah,
Get the gold out of that rather than blow up the conservation estate.
And we don't need to mine the things we don't need.
No.
If we are doing it, then, what is the return?
Yes.
So it's incredible. Thank you so much for that.
My absolute pleasure. I look forward to seeing you again soon.
Awesome. Bye, everybody. Oh, that was great.